Welcome back to the Hero Whispers. People, listeners, girls, ladies, queens, thank you for tuning in. I am so excited. We're doing this live on Zoom today, and we are taking questions live because today we're getting a sneak peek into my new book. It's coming out in the beginning of 2021. I'm so excited to be launching this book all about you. So I figured let's take some questions. Let's have a little chatter about what's on the docket, what to look forward to in 2021, because it's going to be a new year with new things, new exciting ideas. This crap of pandemic or whatever it is going to be hopefully behind us, and it's going to be a time for new things. It's already October, so we're already, as far as I'm concerned, we're getting ready for the brand new year, brand new things, brand new ideas, brand new queens. So that being said, just a reminder of what we do, SuperGirlls.com. That's 2 L's, the second L for love. And this is our podcast, The Hero Whispers. And SuperGirls is in the business of inspiration. So what we do is we inspire and empower college women to launch from college to life with personal branding, with money, with networking. Networking is probably the number one thing that we really help our girls with. Making sure you understand how important your network is. And with the podcast, we like to have really cool women on here that are inspiring millions of people already, whether it's the girls themselves that are in college doing amazing things, trying to find their voice, or other women through all walks of life that are just simply sugar and amazing queens. And we can learn something from them. It's really important to find your own voice, to be able to walk in your power, to stay focused. So that's what this is all about. That's what this podcast is all about. And it's lots of advice, lots of insight, lots of heart from a lot of women. At the end of the day, it's about finding your tribe. So hopefully you found it here at SuperGirls, and I'm your host, Jeanne Marie. I am the founder of it, of SuperGirls, and of this podcast, and the host of this podcast. And today, like I said, I just wanted to take the time to talk about my exciting new book, because I am so excited to have written a book. Okay, here is my little profile about myself, in case you're new to the show and don't know too much about me. Okay, I am a customer-obsessed, progressive-thinking, creative, and disruptive digital commerce leader with 15-plus years experience in biz dev, strategic initiatives, product strategy, and merchandising. As a high-impact executive with a strong background in multi-channel consumer businesses, I was recognized for collaborative leadership style, agile methodology, proactive approach, and keen ability to quickly dissect the status quo and implement roadmap and results through building and mentoring cross-functional teams. So I took those strengths, that expertise, and I moved on over to academia. For the past 6 years, I've been teaching at NYU as an adjunct professor in digital commerce and entrepreneurship, inspiring young minds to launch into the world. I also taught at the New School, and now my most recent adventure is as a full-time professor of business at the Savannah College of Art and Design. What a treat to elevate creative careers, creative minds, helping these young people figure out their roadmap, their creative careers. What does that look like? Launching their personal brands, which is so aligned with what we do at SuperGirls. And I absolutely love it. I love being in the classroom. I love being able to be in the mix of these young people who are the future. They're the future of our world. So that's what I've been up to. That's who I am. And oh my God, it looks like we have a question coming in. So hold on, let me see what that question is so that we can answer you guys as if it were a live radio show. Here we go. Question is, what inspired you to write the book? Okay, so first of all, let me tell you the name of the book. It's called Be your own hero. Get good, get girls, get going, and get the gig. Yes, girl, get the gig. So, I knew that I wanted to write a book. I have so much to say all the time, and the podcast is great, but there's just not enough time, right? There's just not enough time to say and message all these women that I want to inspire, because my big sexy vision is really to be able to speak on every single college campus and inspire people, inspire young women to walk in their own power, be bold, and, keep it moving. So it's tough to do when you are teaching and trying to manage the podcast and everything else. So you know what? A book is the best way to really get the message out. Like, all my girls that I work with were asking, they're overwhelmed by all the info out there, and like, oh my God, I have all this information from the career office to the internet to people that are giving me advice to my professors, this and that. So I thought, you know what? I can do something somewhat of a one-stop shop and have it be like a roadmap in an easy read book. So it will be text, it will be illustrations, it will not be some crazy thick textbook like you have in college. It will be something that is kind of like a guide, a roadmap that you can take with you all over the place. You can keep it moving on the road. And it will be clear, and it's full of real stories and great nuggets of advice. Because today we don't want a lot of stuff, right? We don't want a lot of talk. We don't have time. There's too much noise. We need nuggets. We need bite-sized nuggets so we can take it on the road. So as I was going to write my book and figuring out how to get it published and all that stuff and how to go about that process, of course, I had a mentor. Now, I talk a lot about getting a mentor and being coached. I have other coaches for my business, and I have a coach at SCAD, the mentor. So I really feel like it's important in your life to have mentors in different parts of your life for different things you need. So I have a mentor and a coach. This beautiful bitch is going to be on my podcast next week. So I want you guys to make sure you tune in, because Sloan Ketchum is amazing, and she is my coach. And she wrote a book, Beautiful Girls, You Can Do Hard Things. She's amazing. She is a speaker. She helps young entrepreneurs. She has a crazy story, which we'll get into next week. But she's been super inspirational for me as I thought about and put together a plan to write this book. I was encouraged by so many people to do it. Other women's groups that I'm in, and other professors. So it's really exciting. I'm so happy it's finally come to fruition. So that's the story. Oh, why now? Here's another question. Why now? Like, why do you need to do this now? Well, interesting you said that, right? We're in this crazy time in our world, this pandemic, and I think people are more confused than ever before about what they want to do and what they're going to do with their lives. They're paralyzed with this whole thing. And there's really no need to be, because out of this hardship and these challenges comes so much opportunity. So many times innovation is driven out of challenging times because we're trying to solve problems, right? So innovation, this is when the times of innovation comes out. So if you think about it, the pandemic hit, and all these businesses did not know how to respond because they're physical businesses. People had to be in the flesh to do business with you. Well, all of a sudden, digital transformation blew up, and restaurants had to figure out how to serve people, by delivery, how to serve people outside, all of a sudden they didn't have any outdoor seating. Now all of a sudden they have tents. I mean, restaurants are a great example. Bars were serving to-go drinks. I mean, this is like innovation that came out of a tough time. So people should not be worried about it, but they are. So the book is perfect timing for that, to help young women think about who they are, what their powers and strengths are that they can really take into the world and add value. And also, I've been teaching, like I said, I've been teaching for over 6 years, but now that I'm, in the classroom full time, all the time, I really am in the thick of it. I really am seeing students that are just, they're virtual and they're like lost. So it's a really good time to get these kind of messages out there and help the people that the question, why are you speaking to college girls newly launched? We are speaking to college girls. We are speaking to specifically juniors and seniors that are getting ready to launch, right? They're either going into an internship or they're graduating and they don't know what they want to do with their lives. That's our specific avatar. That's our specific girl that we, talk to in terms of our content. But actually the message of launching speaks to a lot of other people, right? There's women that are midlife and they want to change jobs and they want to launch to a new career, or women that are older, like in my zone, and they had a corporate career and they need to launch in doing something else because they're kind of done with their corporate career and they want to do something else and give it back and pay it forward, much like I did. So that's why I'm speaking to girls and my tribe. But in terms of college girls, I remember when I was in college or when I first graduated, that pit in my stomach of fear and feeling like, oh my God, I am so alone now. I was in college, I was in a sorority, I had all this support and these groups, and then you get out, it's like, shit, now you're in the working world. You got to find new tribes. You have to keep it going. You have to keep the community and the network alive. It's so important to continue to keep and nurture your network because that feeling is scary. Like you're in a job, you don't know anybody, no one's protecting you, no one has your back. It's freaking scary. So this is why I wanted to create SuperGirls in the sense of community and these tribes so that people feel that when they get out, they're not alone and they feel supported and they know that someone has their back. Big sisters have the little sisters' backs. That is why. That is specifically why, because I went through it myself and it sucked. So I really don't want people to have to go through that, and that is why I started it. Oh, we have another question coming in. I love it. Thank you so much for all the questions. What are some of your favorite parts in the book? Well, I can't give too much away because then, it won't be as good, but I'll just give you some clues. So there's a lot of stories. Stories are good, right? About actual people, girls that we've helped in their journeys and what that looks like. So maybe people can relate to that if they see someone else experiencing something that, they feel they're in a similar spot. So there's a lot of that, and that goes right to the heart, goes right to the jugular. I love that. Another favorite part of mine, because it's like my pet peeve about networking, I feel like this is true, it's cliche, but it's true. Your network is your net worth. No one really understands the meaning of that until something happens in your network with someone you know that you wanted, and you're like, oh shit, that really is true, right? Like, you got your first job because your mom was best friends with someone who worked in a company who knew someone else who recommended you, and you got the interview. You got the job yourself because you kicked ass and prepared and did the work. But if you didn't get the introduction, you would have never gotten the job because of the network. So that is the meaning of a network. And once you get that and it happens to you, you will never forget it. But you've got to remember to nurture your network. Continue to grow those relationships because you never know when you're going to need people. And you should always pay it forward. Always enter the network and work the network and nurture your network with things that you offer to help people. No matter who you are, what you've done, there's always a way that you can help someone else. So you always put that out there, and the universe will respond favorably. Karma is a bitch in a good way. So remember that. So there's a lot in there about networking. I have a little section in there about thinking about if you want to start your own business right after college. A lot